3 years in with Singapore, and it's time to start walking the road to the Asian Cup. And here we are in a group with Vietnam, Kyrgyzstan, and Bangladesh, the home and away fixtures to be played over the next 12 months. We know from the recent AFF Cup that we can beat Vietnam, and we should be able to beat Bangladesh. Kyrgyzstan then would be the team to beat, and oh boy, did we have a couple of ding-dong battles with them. In fact, let's jump right in with the first one. We drew first blood with a goal from teenage sensation Shahrin Mohammed inside the first 6 minutes, proving beyond a doubt that his showing at the AFF Suzuki Cup was no fluke. He had bagged himself a hat-trick by half-time. Kyrgyzstan no doubt had the hairdryer treatment at half-time and came out with a blast, pulling 2 goals back before 50 minutes came up. We steadied the ship, however, with Shahrin Mohammed bagging his 4th just before the hour mark, and centre-back Bahurudin making it 5-2 shortly afterwards. Kyrgyzstan would get one more late consolation, if you can call the third goal a consolation, but that was it for the goals. I told you these matches were real ding-dongers, didn't I? So much so, let's skip ahead in the timeline to the return match in Bishkek, where the first 4 goals would be scored in an incredible opening 10 minutes. We did a great job of getting back in it after going 2 down, with first Birtwistle and then Mohammed levelling the scores. By the 20-minute mark, though, we were behind again, and by half-time, 4-2 down. Early in the second half, it got worse as we found ourselves 5-2 down, with Ali Kulov completing his hat-trick, but it wasn't over yet. We fought hard to get back into the match, and after a couple of tight saves, Ramley reduced the deficit to 2, and then our hosts proved to be not so gracious, as not 1, but 2 of their players were sent off in the final 10 minutes. Could we grab 2 goals against our 9 remaining opponents? Well, almost, as Ilhal Fandi made it 5-4 in stoppage time, but ultimately Kyrgyzstan held on for the win. 17 goals in the first 3 minutes of this episode. Like and subscribe if you want more goals. In between those 2 epic matches, we also drew 2-2 with Vietnam, frustratingly throwing away a 2-goal lead, and we also earned a much tougher than expected 3-2 away win over Bangladesh, all of which meant the table looked like this with 2 games to go. Just look at those goal stats. Our penultimate game was to be one of the toughest. Vietnam away. We knew a win here could guarantee our passage to the finals and really went for it. I mean, just look at those stats. Now, guess what the scoreline was? If you guessed a 1-0 loss, well, you've obviously played a lot of FM over the years, but in this case, you would be wrong. As although Ramley missed the first half penalty, he did tuck away the rebound to give us the lead we deserved. But as the second half wore on, try as we might, we just couldn't add that second goal that our play deserved. And then, right on 90 minutes, Vietnam got the break from our corner, and sickeningly, inevitably, they equalised. And that was how it ended. So the shit may have not hit the fan, but we got hung dung instead. Going into our final game, the table had us in 3rd. But our fate was very much in our own hands, as Vietnam and Kyrgyzstan would play each other. Whatever their result, a win for us at home to Bangladesh would see us overtake at least one of them. So, Bangladesh at home, the easiest game of our qualifying campaign on paper, but we still found ourselves a goal down at half-time as we really struggled to get going. At half-time, I reminded the players what was at stake, and it seemed to get them going, as Yui Young, back after a few months out injured, levelled the score. But our joy didn't last long, as Sufil capitalised on some shoddy defending to put Bangladesh back in the lead. Luckily, another penalty allowed Ramley to put us level again, but with the other game level, a point would not be enough. And then a moment of magic. As we poured forward, Irfan Fandi got the ball on the halfway line, brought it forward and played a lofted ball for Yui Young to run onto and volley into an empty net. We sure love our late drama with this Singapore team, and with the other game remaining goalless, that was enough to not only send us through to the finals, but to also send us through top of our group. Not bad considering we conceded an average of 2.5 goals a game. It will be some 9 months before we get to play the Asian Cup, which kicks off in January 2027 in India, though the draw is not made until December 2026. But in between now and then, we have to play yet another AFF Suzuki Cup in December of 2026. So join me in the next episode for back-to-back tournaments.